next guest has fought in some of the biggest promotions in MMA, including the PFL and LFA. Robert Hale, who competes in the semifinals, the B2 Fighting Series welterweight tournament on January 29th against Bryan McDowell. Robert, how are you?
How are you doing today? I'm doing pretty good, Mr. Curtis. I'm doing pretty good.
Great to meet you. I really do appreciate the time as well. Big fight for you coming up against Bryan McDowell. What can you tell us about him as an opponent, and how has camp been so far?
Bryan McDowell's opponent, he's the same as everybody else. He's just a stepping stone, that is in my way. I can't wait to go out there and, perform how King Hale usually performs. Go out there. We're always looking for the devastating finish, but winning by all means necessary is the goal. Camp has been absolutely amazing. The move up to 170 has been lovely. Walking around 15, 13 pounds away for the whole camp has really been amazing. Just learning, actually being able to sit down and work on what I need to work on instead of like rushing a weight cut. That's a big relief because now I feel like I'm being a lot more dangerous, a lot more explosive, just a lot more dangerous. And I mean dangerous.
Do you feel like welterweight is your new home for now? Because you're a guy that's fought at a bunch of different weight classes. How do you feel at 170 compared to the other weight classes? I
feel explosive. 170 is definitely my new home. 155, it was always some technicalities. Weight cutting was a problem. I couldn't produce like I wanted to, even after rehydrating. As far as 170, me and Dan Stiggins, I know we went to a 3-round decision, but that was really, just me testing out, what I could and can't do at 170. I felt good. Dan couldn't hit me like he wanted to. I was a lot faster. So me knowing that I'm gonna be the faster guy around, moving circles around these guys is definitely a confidence booster. But I look to go out here, walk Bryan McDowell down, and finish the show in the first or second round.
Who's going to be in your corner for this fight?
Tony Tucci, Nathan Williams. They basically are my, Tony is my head coach. He's been my head coach for eight years. And Nathan's been my brother he's been my brother ever since I joined the gym. So, we've been pushing each other, going back and forth, making sure we are going above and beyond our limits. And I really appreciate him for that.
Absolutely. I want to talk about your last fight for a second. You mentioned it, that you're trying some stuff out with that fight against Dan Stiggins. What did you take away from that fight, and what did you make of your performance overall?
I give it a C. My performance itself is a C. What I could take away from that performance is that, I went, I kind of went in there a little too hesitant. Not because of he was a UFC vet, all the other stuff. It's just, I just wanted to see what was in store for me at that weight. I didn't know how he could hit. I didn't know us watching his tape. We didn't know if he was just going to shoot for legs, because that's what he always does. He came out and he didn't. He was a little more hesitant than me. So I just took advantage of that. But coming forward, throughout this whole tournament, even really through the rest of my career, I'm gonna be the first one there. I'm gonna be the first one to the punch. And even if I'm not the first one to the punch, I'm gonna be moving, making sure I am mobile. Very mobile, making sure I move like Ali, keep my hands moving, keep my feet shuffling. They like the great said, your eyes can't hit what your hands can't see. Mm-hmm. I mean, your hands can't hit what your eyes can't see.
Absolutely. And you've trained a little bit with UFC middleweight Tresean Gore. I actually talked to him just last week. Fans know him from the last season of The Ultimate Fighter, but what are your thoughts on his skill set and potential in the UFC?
Tresean is definitely, it's funny. Me and Tresean were rivals as amateurs, and then we became closer as, the years passed and stuff. And I think he has an enormous amount of potential where he can really become champion if he just keep his head down and he keep going, keep grinding. You definitely could see Tresean holding the belt at 185.
Absolutely. You train in a smaller gym in the Atlanta area. What are some of the benefits of being part of a smaller team and building those relationships with the guys you train with?
The benefits of being a part of a smaller gym. I don't want to correct you, but we got 5 of them guys. So I mean, our gym is small, but we do have numbers. But to answer your question, it does wonders. You get more of the focus on you. The things that you wouldn't see or somebody might not be able to see. Your coaches, I got my coaches right there, like literally right there, just to critique me on every little thing. I have a facility. Like, of course, without the members, I have a facility to myself. I got all access to training as much as I want. And like I said, the groups of having a small group, like I really don't want guys to like listening to this. I don't want guys to be like, man, I gotta go to a big gym. You can go to any gym. You can go to any gym and be great. You just have to put in the time, effort, and work. And that's all it takes. It takes it takes a 3 set of people. Everybody has to have the same mentality, have the same motives, and then you go from there. Like Demetrius Johnson, Thug Nasty, all the and even numerous other guys. They train out of gyms that nobody knows, like, but they're good. They're great because they work hard. You know what I mean? They work really hard. And that's all I want to show when I do make it to the big show. Like I work really hard. I work harder than the man. I work harder than all them guys in the UFC, and they'll see. They will see.
Yeah, definitely. Just to clarify, I just meant it in terms of comparing like American Top Team and Sanford MMA, some of those big name recognition gyms.
Yeah,
I guess I just meant it in terms of what fighters expect that they should do in terms of going to those big names.
Definitely. When you saying go to those other gyms, I would say just for fighters just to take in as much knowledge as they can. You're when you step into another gym, especially a big gym like those gyms, it's definitely great to soak up all the information everybody comes and gives you, so you could bring it back to your gym. So that's how I see it.
Yeah, absolutely. How'd you first get into MMA? How did it all start?
I honestly started with I started watching Strikeforce when Strikeforce was a big thing. When Nick Diaz was the shit, when he was the shit up and he was taking over. Yeah, he was taking over Strikeforce. Me, my dad, and my little brother, we would watch it every time it would come on. And it would come on almost every weekend, which is crazy. They would have a fight card almost every weekend. And so my dad kind of nudged me and was like, because I was a linebacker that played football in college and stuff. He was like, you got the aggressiveness, you can do it. And he said, I'm not gonna push you towards it, but I think you can do something like this. And I kind of laughed at him and like let it go over my head. But then I woke up one day and I was like, let me try this. And I wasn't doing football or anything, so let me try to do this. And I saw Clint Hester on the TV one day of The Ultimate Fighter, John Jones versus Shell Shonen. Clint Hester was on the TV. He's fighting out of Marietta because I didn't know any gyms. I didn't know any gyms. So I kind of got like lucky, I guess. I saw Clint Hester. He was fighting out of Marietta. They said the gym name X3 Sports and all the other stuff. So I looked him up, found out what gym he went to, X3 Sports, the only X3 Sports. And it was a wrap from there. I started fighting at 85 first. Then I started fighting at 70. Then I fought at 55. And now I'm fighting back at 70.
Who are some guys that you like watching? You mentioned Nick Diaz, who you used to watch back in the day, Clint Hester. Who are some guys and gals now that you watch and maybe take inspiration from?
got really guys that I take inspiration from. Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather. But if you want to go on the MMA side, it was Rampage Jackson, Anthony Rumble Johnson, Anderson Silva. And I know it sucks to say his name, but the man is great. John Jones, before he went into that crazy whatever he doing. Mm-hmm. John Jones, I would take all of their movements, their skill sets, and even Amanda. I almost forgot Amanda Nunes because of just how her aggressiveness is just dangerous. That's what separates her. Even though she lost to Julia Pena, her aggressiveness is what separates her from a lot of the women. But I kind of have this like imaginary box that I put all their names in. I shake it up. Whatever I pull out, that's just what we're gonna do.
Absolutely. Last question for me before we wrap things up. What can fans expect from your fight next weekend, and what's the key to getting your hand raised?
What can the fans expect from King Hale? Look for chaos. Look for thunder. Look for lightning. Look for everything rumbling, because that's what I'm gonna bring. I know Bryan may be working hard, but he's not working harder than me. Anything he doing, I'm gonna do better. Just know it will not get out of the first or the second round. That's that's exactly how I see this going. He might fight hard the first round, but the second round will be mine. And he might not fight hard the first round, and the first round will be mine. But definitely expect nothing but explosiveness, hard hitting action from King Hale.
We cannot wait to watch the fight. Before we go, I'll give you the final word. Feel free to shout out your sponsors, coaches, whoever you want. I'll give you the final word.
I'm probably going to get viral or famous for saying this. I have no sponsors. I do everything I can. Everybody gets sponsors with me. But I would love to shout out first and foremost my manager, James Penniman, who got me on this. I really appreciate this. I would like to shout you out, Mr. Curtis. Appreciate you for having me on. I would like to shout out my wife. My wife, she's literally been on my back since day one. I would like to thank all my brothers at X3 Sports, real training, real results. And January 29th, we finna do it again. King Hale finna show out like he always does.
Get this man some sponsors too. We'll give you a shout out in that regard too.
Thank you. Give me some sponsors.
I got you. Robert, thanks again for your time, and I'm sure we'll chat again soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Mr. Curtis.
Make sure to subscribe to the Low Kick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.